Deep in the heart of the ocean, where sunlight dances through the water in shimmering ribbons, lived a beautiful mermaid named Luna. She wasn't alone in this vast blue world. She shared her life and adventures with her three beloved sisters, Marina, Stara, and Coralina. The four sisters were inseparable, their days filled with laughter and exploration. Their greatest joy was sailing across the endless sea in a magical boat, a wondrous vessel crafted from thousands of shining iridescent shells that caught the light and cast rainbows on the waves. One brilliant afternoon, as they glided over the tranquil blue expanse, a school of colorful fish swam beside them, their scales like scattered jewels. The air was warm, and the scent of salt and sea flowers filled their senses. But amidst this perfect scene, Coralina's gaze drifted to the far horizon, her eyes holding a distant, wistful look. She let out a soft, quiet sigh that seemed to carry all the weight of the ocean within it. "Sisters," she said, her voice barely a whisper, yet it reached their hearts. "I have a great and powerful wish that lives deep inside me. More than anything else, I want to have a child someday." Her words hung in the air, a delicate and precious hope. Luna, the ever-gentle sister, moved closer and took Coralina's hand, her touch as soft as sea foam. "The sea is ancient and wise, my dear sister," she replied with a comforting smile. "It hears all sincere wishes, especially those that come from a loving heart." Marina, always the optimist, chimed in, her voice bright and encouraging. "And remember what we've always been told. True dreams, the ones that are real and pure, always find their way to come true." She squeezed Coralina's shoulder, a gesture of unwavering support. Then Stara, whose tail shimmered with an inner light, lifted it high above the water. A soft ethereal glow spread from her, illuminating the sea around them in a magical luminescence. "When the time is right, Coralina," she said, her voice full of certainty, "the ocean itself will grant you a special and unique blessing. You just have to trust in its magic." That night, their shell boat rested peacefully under the silvery glow of the full moon. The stars were scattered across the sky like diamonds on dark velvet, and their reflections danced on the calm surface of the water. As the sisters slept, lulled by the gentle rocking of the waves, a radiant light began to grow in the water nearby. From this light, an old wise mermaid appeared, her hair like spun silver and her eyes holding the wisdom of 1,000 tides. She was surrounded by a halo of soft, oceanic light. She glided gracefully to the side of the boat and looked at Coralina with kind eyes. "Coralina," the wise mermaid said, her voice like the gentle murmur of the deep sea, "your wish is pure and born from love. The sea has heard you. It will grant you a child, but it will do so when your heart is truly and completely ready to receive this gift." And with that, she smiled, faded back into the light, and disappeared into the depths, leaving behind a trail of sparkling bubbles. Time flowed on like the currents of the ocean. Seasons changed, the sun and moon took their turns watching over the sea, and the four sisters continued their journeys. They explored hidden grottos, danced with dolphins in sunlit bays, and sang songs to the stars from the deck of their shellboat. Coralina held the wise mermaid's words close to her heart, filling her days with patience, hope, and an ever-growing love for the child she dreamed of. Then, one breathtaking morning, as they sailed under a sky painted with the golden and pink hues of the sunrise, something unusual happened. Their magical boat, which had always glided so effortlessly, slowly and gently came to a stop all by itself. The sisters looked at each other, their expressions a mix of curiosity and wonder. What could possibly stop their magical boat? They peered over the side into the crystal-clear water. Just ahead of them, a small solitary shell began to rise from the waves. It wasn't an ordinary shell. This one shimmered with an otherworldly light, glowing with a soft pearlescent sheen that seemed to contain all the colors of the dawn. As they watched, captivated, the shining shell gently opened its two halves, revealing what lay inside. Nestled within the smooth nacreous interior was a baby, a tiny, perfect baby mermaid, sleeping peacefully, wrapped in a blanket of glowing sea foam that sparkled like 1,000 tiny stars. Her hair was the color of the deepest coral, and her tiny tail fin shimmered with a soft golden light. Coralina gasped, her hands flying to her mouth as tears of pure, unadulterated joy streamed down her cheeks. With trembling hands, she reached out and gently lifted the precious bundle from the shell. She held the little one close to her heart, a heart that was now so full it felt like it might burst. The baby stirred, opened her eyes, the color of the clear summer sky, and looked up at her. "Welcome, my little one," Coralina whispered, her voice thick with emotion as she kissed the baby's forehead. "Welcome, little child of the sea." Luna, Marina, and Stara gathered around, their own eyes wet with happy tears. They touched the baby's soft skin, marveled at her tiny fingers, and welcomed their new niece with all the love in their hearts. The sea, it seemed, had been listening all along. The sisters celebrated this miraculous gift with songs of joy that echoed across the water. From that day forward, every journey across the ocean became even more magical, even more special.